Hey, if you're watching this right now, you're probably a fellow podcaster who wants to form deeper relationships with your existing listeners and expand your show's audience. Well, you're in the right place because in this video, we'll be talking about the podcaster's dilemma. This is what I call the 4 key obstacles that are currently preventing you from being able to form those deeper connections and control how you communicate with your own audience. The good news is I'll also be showing you how I use Norby's simplified community and marketing tools as my go-to solution to create engaging conversations with my own podcast listeners, as well as identify who our super fans are so we can tap into their networks and expand our show listenership. I've been a Norby user for over a year now, and their tools have helped us double our average monthly downloads and form real relationships with our listeners. Now, before we dive in, a quick intro if you and I haven't met before. Hi, my name is Ellen Yin, podcast host of Cubicle to CEO, a weekly show where we interview the best and brightest female founders and CEOs so you can borrow their best business strategies. In fact, you can check out our interview with Norby co-founder Sam Safer on episode 111. Just search Cubicle to CEO wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you hit that subscribe button below and give this video a thumbs up if you find this content helpful. Let's jump in. So what is the podcaster's dilemma? Let's talk about the first and biggest obstacle, which is the lack of transparency around your audience data, meaning who are your listeners and super fans. Most podcast hosting platforms show you very limited data around who's actually tuning into your show every week. You might be able to see the number of total downloads for your show over a 30-day window or for a specific episode. You may even be able to see the top countries and cities that your listeners are tuning in from or which apps they're listening on. However, beyond that, it's very difficult to get any information about the individual listener, who they are, how they found your show, what kind of content they enjoy the most. And it's also impossible to identify who your super fans are. These are the listeners who tune into every single episode and are most likely to refer and share your show to new listeners. Obstacle number 2 is that you have no ownership of your podcast audience or data. That means that you have no way to independently communicate with your listeners through channels that you actually own. This forces you to rely on your listeners going from the podcast app that they listen on to coming and finding you on social media. And then even if they do follow you on social media, that is not a channel that you directly own, right? Any social profile you have is just rented space. You don't control the algorithms, you don't control the actual data, and at any point your profile could be lost. Now, the third obstacle a lot of podcasters face in connecting with their audience is that they're having a one-sided passive listening experience, meaning listeners are tuning into your episodes, but how do you actually engage them in a two-way dialogue for further feedback? It's almost impossible to have direct conversations with your listeners when you don't know anything about them or where to find them. The fourth and final obstacle that a lot of podcasters deal with is the limited shareability or native growth opportunities on most podcast platforms to reach new listeners and actually grow your monthly downloads. So this is a problem that I know intimately and that we were really struggling with, because with native podcast platforms, unless your show gets picked up and goes viral or is constantly at the top of the charts, it's really hard sometimes to attract new listeners, right? You're relying on these podcast platforms to recommend your show as a similar type of show to something they may already be listening to. I wanted to find a way to put the power back in my existing audience's hands and give them the tools and incentive to share a show that they already listen to and love with their own friends and network. Using Norby's marketing and community tools, we were able to do just that. Let's talk about the podcaster's solution to increased connection with your audience. We did this by adding personalization to the podcast experience by offering listeners a podcast concierge. So we decided to create an exclusive text community for our Cubicle to CEO listeners and invite them to access their own private podcast concierge by giving us their number. Each week, we conveniently deliver the new episode link directly to our listeners along with a quick tip through a Norby SMS text send, like this. SMS texts allow you to instantly reach your listeners on their phones in a communication channel people normally associate with their close friends and family. Because of this, open and response rates to SMS texts are through the roof. Studies show up to 89% open rates on average. Thanks to Norby's inbox feature that allows two-way text conversations, we can further engage listeners by encouraging them to provide real-time feedback and ask questions about new episodes or text us a topic they want to explore further, and we're able to send back a curated playlist of episodes based on their interests. We're meeting our listeners where they're at and creating an elevated experience that brings them added value. Norby makes it so easy for listeners to join our text and email community with their easy-to-use signups tool. Here's the sign-up form I created from my Norby dashboard in less than 5 minutes. Norby guides you through the setup process step by step. Let me show you how intuitive it is. In the registration tab, you can select required information like name, email, and phone number, as well as add custom fields to collect the information you most want to know about your listeners. For example, I ask my community where they currently listen to Cubicle the CEO so I know which podcast platforms my listeners prefer and are most active on. Maybe you want to ask your listeners how they discovered your show or what other shows in your niche they listen to. This is a golden opportunity for market research. You can also customize your confirmation message or even monetize through a donation or sign up paywall if you want to create exclusive paid-only content. Unlike other creator platforms out there, you get to keep 100% of the income you earn through Norby. Here is what our finished sign-up page looks like. We have complete creative control over the branding, so the visuals are a cohesive experience for our community and look native to our own website or social profiles. An easy way to drive listeners to your new Norby signup is by recording an ad plug to run on your podcast show. Once someone signs up, they automatically receive their own unique referral link that they can share with their friends. If someone in their network signs up for our text community through their Norby referral link, Norby automatically tracks that conversion for us, and the person who shared the link gets the referral credit. In our dashboard, we're able to see how many referrals and specifically who each person referred when we go to View Analytics on the sign-up form under the Referrers tab. This Norby feature allows you to tap into the power of word-of-mouth marketing and identify who your superfans are. We also incentivize our listeners to share their referral links by offering a referral rewards program where we offer a prize at different referral milestones. For example, we treat listeners to coffee on us when they reach 10 referrals, or they get to call into our show and ask a business question on the podcast when they reach 25 referrals. You can really get creative with your own rewards referral program and have fun coming up with meaningful prizes or experiences to show gratitude to your most loyal listeners. By clicking on the View Analytics tab of any sign-up form, you're able to view all of your contacts in one place and the answers they share on the sign-up form. In our case, where they listen to podcasts and other helpful data like what links they're clicking on. Not only will these insights on your listeners' behaviors and interests allow you to create better podcast content, but you're also simultaneously growing an audience database that you actually own through Norby's sign-up forms and in-platform email and SMS text marketing channels. As a creator and podcast host, it's so important to have direct access to your own audience so you can have full control over your communication with your community without relying on third-party platforms that lack transparency or ever-changing social media algorithms. In summary, Norby is an all-inclusive community success manager that helps creators build community and unlock growth opportunities with simplified tools that allow you to engage independently with your audience off of social media and gain a deeper understanding of your audience's interests and behaviors. You've already seen how effective and impactful their tools are in this video, but I want to share just 3 more reasons why I personally love and recommend Norby. Reason number 1, Norby offers a flexible pricing plan that supports your growth rather than penalizes it. So basically they use usage-based pricing, meaning they charge you for the volume of texts or emails that you send out rather than contact-based pricing, which would basically increase your price as your contacts grow. I love that about Norby because I really think that your community growth should be celebrated, not penalized. And the best news is Norby's basic monthly subscription starts at just $5 a month. It is such a no-brainer no matter where you're at in your current creator journey. Reason number 2 to love Norby, everything they offer is highly customizable to your branding. So you can provide a seamless integrated experience for your audience, and all of your visuals can be cohesive cohesive and match across all your different platforms. Reason number 3 to love Norby: they are a platform that champions the voices of their users and creators with partnerships just like this one. And they offer world-class customer support. They are so responsive to user feedback and are always working to innovate and create a better experience for all Norby creators. So if you're ready to try Norby yourself, I want to gift you a free month to explore all of their amazing tools. Go to ellenyin.com/Norby, that's spelled ELLENYIN.com/NORBY, to sign up for your free 1-month trial. Or you can check the video description below for a clickable link. Remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you found this helpful. Thanks so much for watching.